Mabuhay from the beautiful city of Malolos. Well, I'm here in my hometown, Malolos, Bulacan, because I'll be celebrating Mother's Day with my parents. And I have here a special guest, my good friend, Mr. Derek King. And
Hi,
today,
guys.
we'll be comparing these two fragrances, Dirham and Amouage Reflection Man. So, what are we waiting for? Stay tuned! So like what I mentioned a while ago, we'll be comparing these two fragrances. This Amouage Reflection Man, which retails for about $300, and this Dirham by the house of Ard Al Zaafaran, which is from United Arab Emirates. So this retails for about $20 or 1,000 pesos here in the Philippines. Between the accessibility of this fragrance, which is more accessible? This one, Amouage or Dirham?
Actually, they are both in Dubai also.
Okay, so they are not available here in the Philippines, both Amouage and this Dirham. So we may have a difficult time acquiring these two fragrances. But today we'll be comparing the two fragrances in terms of the smell. We will see if Dirham is a good alternative to Amouage Reflection Man. Well, like what I mentioned a while ago, the price is very different, very far apart, very expensive, very cheap. So, is this a good alternative to Amouage Reflection Man? Let's find out. So, we'll be comparing this one in 3 stages. First, the initial spray. Second is the mid, and lastly, the dry down. So, let's start first with the initial spray. So, I'll spray first this Amouage Reflection Man here on my left hand. This is the initial spray. That's for the Reflection Man. You spray as well, Derek. So, in the initial spray, guys, they're totally different. Very, very different. On the Reflection Man, I smell somehow a bubblegummy vibe. It's somehow candy, somehow fruity, candy-ish vibe. Very clean vibe, like chewing gum, juicy fruit vibe. But here on the Dirham, it's so sweet. It's sweet. It's very sweet, fruity sweet.
Floral sweet.
Florally sweet. Yes, you're right. So, in the opening, how will you compare the two fragrances?
It's very different.
Very different, right?
For me, the Reflection Man wins in the opening.
Reflection Man wins in the opening. I also noticed that in the opening, this Amouage Reflection Man somehow has a similar vibe with Dolce Amalfi from the house of Sir Joff.
The Amalfi is much more bubblegum.
Amalfi is a lot more bubblegumish compared with this Amouage Reflection Man. Okay, in terms of the presentation of these two bottles, which wins for you? Amouage Reflection Man or Dirham?
Still the Amouage.
Amouage.
The cup. It's a magnetic cup.
Magnetic cup. Very elegant.
The bottle, the design.
See that, guys? Very elegant bottle design compared with, well, it's plastic cap, but they somehow resemble because look at the bottles, guys. Metallic cap and clear bottle. So they share somehow similarity between the presentation, but again, according to Derek, Amouage wins. Mine as well, I agree with Derek. Amouage wins in terms of presentation. Okay, so it's take 2. Okay, it's been 20 minutes already, and we will now test the mid of these two fragrances. So again, Amouage. So for the Amouage, it's still there. The bubblegummy vibe is still there, but it tends to be linear. It somehow smells the same when I sprayed it on the opening and now in the mid. And let's now see Dirham. Okay, so for the Dirham, it's somehow died down a bit. The very bright and loud sweet floral scent starts to die down and be tamed a bit. But they are not the same. The scent is still not the same. There's a lot of difference between these two fragrances. So for me, Amouage still wins in the middle part of this fragrance. How about you, Derek?
Yes, Amouage still wins. It's much more cleaner now than the opening.
It's cleaner in the middle, but it still somehow smells the same.
It smells the same.
On the opening towards the mid. Okay, so we will now see what the base or the dry down part of these two fragrances are. Stay tuned. Okay, it's been 30 minutes or 30 to 45 minutes already, and right now we'll be testing the dry down of these two fragrances. Now, starting with Amouage. So for the Amouage, it's still there. Like what I've said a while ago, it's very linear and it's somehow a cleaner scent already. There's some minty vibe which makes it similar to Lemal, Jean Paul Gaultier's Lemal, a very clean formal scent. And the mint, I get a hint of mint here in Amouage Reflection Man. However, in this Dirham, the very bright and loud sweet floral scent is very tamed already. It's not very loud anymore. But again, they're totally different scent. Let's say 30%. 30 about 20, 30 to 40%, but it's really different, guys. I'm sorry for my previous video, my unboxing video, where I mentioned that this is an Amouage Reflection Man killer. It's not, guys, it's not. They're totally different scent. How about you, Derek? What can you say about that Drydown?
The Drydown is still there. It's more cleaner. It's more mature scent. Formal. Dirham is almost gone in my skin.
So Dirham is almost gone. It's the longevity in your skin is not that great. But based from your experience with Amouage Reflection Man, does it last long on your skin?
Yes, about 8 to 10 hours.
This Amouage Reflection Man is yours, right? How is your experience with Amouage Reflection Man?
It's a very good scent. It's for all occasion. You can use it.
Do you get lots of compliments with this fragrance?
Yes. I get
Especially at work. You
and
get lots of compliments.
Church.
And you get a very good performance with this Amouage Reflection.
Yes.
Well, in my case, this Dirham is mine. I also get lots of performance with this one. Very good performance with Dirham. But I haven't got any compliments with this Dirham yet. Just yet. So maybe when I get a decan from you. Just kidding. There you have it. We already compared Amouage Reflection Man and Dirham by the house of Ard Al Zaafaran. So the final question is, which one will you get? Amouage Reflection Man or Dirham by the house of Ard Al Zaafaran? For you, Derek, which one will you choose?
I will still choose the Amouage Reflection.
Why?
Because the smell is so good, the quality of the smell, and for all occasion, you can use
Very versatile fragrance. For me, if I will be given the chance to choose between these two, I also agree with Derek. I will choose Amouage Reflection Man. Why? Because if you have the budget, then by all means, get this Amouage Reflection Man. It's a very good scent, very versatile fragrance. You can use this one in any occasion, any season as well. And it's a very manly scent. You will get lots of compliments with this Amouage Reflection Man. Well, if you don't have the budget, you can go with this Dirham by Ard Al Zaafaran. Well, it's not that close to the scent of Amouage Reflection Man, but it is a good fragrance on its own. If you're into floral, fruity fragrances, very loud fruity fragrances, then go with this Dirham. But if, like what I mentioned a while ago, if you have the budget or if you are a collector of the whole Amouage line, then get this Amouage Reflection Man. How about you?
Yes, I will get
The Amouage Reflection Man.
still.
So you heard our comparison already between these two fragrances. Now which one will you choose? Amouage Reflection Man or Dirham by the house of Ard Al Zaafaran? Again, put your comments down below and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, Fragrance RX. Again, this is Wilson for the channel Fragrance RX, your fragrance doctor. See you in the next video. Have a nice day and
Stay
stay fragrant!